Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
You watch a movie and then all of a sudden something really insane happens. The main character dies or a bunch of characters die and you think like, whoa, is this really happening right now? This is insane. What? And what's gonna happen next now that they're all dead? What's with the story? And then the character wakes up, it was just a dream. Ugh.
Has that ever happened to you?
Okay, and there was just a cheap trick. But there is instances where this actually makes sense and you have a real progression of the story. And I want to talk about one instance where I find this to be very effectful. But let me preface this whole thing by giving you the worst example that I could find. And it's Twilight. From Breaking Dawn Part 2, where a huge fight happens. We got these two opposing sides. These are the Volturi or something, like the antagonists. And here we got our main guys. It's of course here Bella and Edward, and I think that's Jake. I don't really know, but they basically have a standoff. And a fight is about to happen. The good guys, they need to hand over this child to the Volturi. They don't want to do that, and now
Let her go!
and this guy decides to start the fight. So he's coming here and he's killed. Ooh, big kill, important kill. That's an important character, like a mentor figure for all those vampires, whatever. And now the fight breaks out. Everybody's fighting, the whole spiel. This guy dies. This guy dies. Yeah, this werewolf, she I think sacrifices herself. This is a very important sacrifice. This girl dies. And now our main bad guy dies. He's gonna get burned. And then the big moment. It's just a vision. Didn't happen.
What? What the fuck?
And he's afraid. He's so afraid that he actually could die. That they blow off the whole deal. They don't fight. And this is how it ends. And he just says, there is no danger here.
There is no danger here.
And they resolve their conflict. And they go. And it's like it never happened. This is of course theoretically one solution to that problem. Obviously it is. They just don't do the thing that they wanted to do. But then it's like, why am I watching this then? It's like in Lord of the Rings, they held the Council of Elrond and they say, we're gonna destroy this thing, otherwise Sauron will subjugate everybody in this world. And then it's like, okay, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna get this into Mordor. And then Boromir comes and says, one does not simply go into Mordor and do this and that. We will actually be in danger and we're gonna die probably. And then they say, okay, fuck, no, let's not do it. Let's just give him the ring, or let's just hide. It's like, yeah, you could do that. But is that the story that we want to be told? That we want to hear? It's fucking not. Or if Sauron, the Dark Lord, is like, I'm gonna get this ring, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, I'm gonna kill everybody, I'm gonna be the Dark Overlord of this Middle Earth. And then he's gonna be told like, but it's gonna be dangerous, you might even die, you know? Okay, in that case, no, then I'm not gonna do this. It's like, okay, yeah, but then he's not the fucking Dark Lord. Then it's not Sauron. It's not the story that we want to get told. So it's unacceptable. And they just do this. There's people who are gonna say they like it and like, more power to you, it's okay. But like, you cannot excuse this on a quality standpoint. If you enjoyed it, that's fair. I'm gonna die on that hill that you would have enjoyed it more if it was different. But now let's go to a different scene from a different series where it's actually working in their favor. And it's from The Boys. It's about superheroes. It's a sinister or cynical flick of the whole superhero genre. What they want to tell is, we have this character, Homelander, and he is basically like Superman. He's omnipotent, he's basically unkillable. He can fly, he can shoot laser beams from his eyes. Actually, the premise of Homelander is pretty cool in this series. What would happen to a person if he was unkillable, could do whatever he wants without anybody standing in his way. And what would this guy turn into? And what they here have with Homelander is actually like a sociopath or a psychopath, somebody who's got the emotional development of a 2-year-old, because he's never had to deal with opposition in a way. He cannot deal with rejection, and he's always getting applauded, and he's loved, and of course he does some good. And we slowly but surely learn more and more that he's actually a total psychopath. It's an interesting take on the whole superhero theme, because it's like, what would happen to a guy if he really had that power? The scene that I want to show you now is the same thing, where something happens that actually turns out to only be a dream. But this time it's very effective. Homelander is in a situation now where he's done some questionable stuff, but in the public eye, he's not yet revealed to be this psychopath. So he still has some reputation. But he's done some stuff where he's actually getting protested and criticized for it. So this girl, I think she's a congresswoman or something like that, and she leads this protest against him. And he's not used to that. So he's completely surprised by it, and he wants to intervene.
We are going to hold hearings on Compound B. Yes!
So, whoop. So he comes. And everybody's a little, whoa, afraid. But okay. He takes the mic and now he talks.
Congresswoman Newman, everybody. Isn't she great?
And he starts to talk himself into a ditch now. He shouldn't talk right now. And then, after everything fails...
Look, guys, my point is, everyone just relax.
And now after this guy...
Calm down.
After this guy flips him the bird, now he's like, man, I tried for 2 minutes now. Like, I tried everything I can. Nice little acting piece by this guy's Anthony Starr, that's the actor of Homelander. And now you see the joy or even the motivation to try any further is leaving his soul. And he's just like... Yeah. And the hatred for those guys. How could they oppose him? How could they flip a bird to a freaking god? So what happens now? He just goes berserk and kills the whole crowd, and you're like, fuck!
No way!
Insane! He did not just do that. And it's like, all's in shambles. And he's like immediately a little struck by it. You think it's guilt, but I think it's actually the thought of him like, fuck, what did I do? How do I get this straight? This is not gonna work. But of course, why am I making this video? He looks at this. And it didn't happen. So he's actually imagined that. And then he's like, okay. Alright. He needs to remove himself from the situation. Okay, so it was just a fake out. You could ask, okay, same thing, but why is it different? It actually progresses the story because it tells us that he is fantasizing about it. He's so close and he just averted it. If we didn't see that little fantasy, we wouldn't have known how close he actually is. We could guess, but we wouldn't have known. And afterwards we see like he's completely down and he's like, fuck. And he's enraged because people are not with him anymore. And the good thing about this is, what they do is two things. They give us a glimpse of what will happen. It's a little foreshadowing because you know like it is doomed to happen at one point. He cannot keep up that facade. And the second thing is, they don't just do this and then give us maybe 1 second of fun, like, I mean, fun is mass murder, but like fun of this thing actually happening, and then it's done. And you think like, okay, they don't want the thrill to be gone. They just give you a little step. So they take you down this path of destruction or of catastrophe of this character, but they take you down step by step by step. And it's actually more agonizing that way. So you don't have like a fake mass murder scene because they were afraid to do that. They just delay the whole gratification a little bit. But they also show us how close this guy actually is. They let us into his psyche and they show us how deranged he is. Because he only tried 1 minute to calm these guys down. And 1 minute of opposition was enough. So it's actually very telling and very good for the story. We know that this guy is a ticking time bomb now. Important story beat. So you see, there's actually sometimes just a 2mm shift to make a thing from really dull and unsatisfying to rewarding and interesting. Subversion of expectation, not for the sake of subverting expectations. Or because you're afraid to actually do stuff that would have real consequences. And sometimes it just is a little trick, but that works in your favor and that progresses the story, and then you can do it. And this is what I want you to take away with this. It's sometimes just a 2mm shift.